So how close is Hwang to coming back into the 11? And
Yeah, he's fit.
team in good shape.
Hwang's fit. Yeah, lads are in a good spot. Trying to think who we've got out. Hodgie's still out. Rest of the group are in a good place. Of course, a couple rejoined us late. Some first day training today for a couple, but in terms of injuries, we're in a good spot.
Cool. And how do you see yourself setting up against Liverpool? I mean, obviously a very difficult game, and I guess do you feel like you can reach the standards that you met against Man United?
I think Liverpool have been very impressive this season. I think they've made a big improvement from last season with their sort of structure, and I've watched obviously all of their games so far this season, and they look a very good side. So it'll be a tough game for us, of course. Obviously Trent's been a big part of their sort of the new structure that they've used with him rolling inside, and obviously he came off injured against Aston Villa and missed the England games, so yet to see whether it will be similar to that or whether it will be something different that we need to prepare for. But yeah, I think it's going to be a tough test. Whenever you play Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, the real big sides, it's going to be a tough game. So we've got good game plan in place that allows us to be aggressive when we're ready to, allows us to have good spells with the ball, and looking forward to seeing what the boys can produce again.
And in terms of, I mean, obviously, I know we're moving into the Premier League again, but in terms of the international break, I mean, do you see AFCON becoming a problem later down the line with Nouri and potentially, I guess, Traoré as well at some point? Is that coming to your thinking, watching the break?
No, not really. It's a long way off, of course. You don't want to lose players from your group, but you understand it's a privilege and honour for them to go and represent their country in a big tournament. So understand it completely, and something that obviously we'll look to deal with and cover if we have to when that time comes around. All right.
Okay.
Hi.
With it being the international break and you came in days before the start of the new season, did you get a chance to have a couple of days to yourself? You'd already interrupted a family holiday to be here, so were you able to sort of decompress a bit?
Yeah, a little bit. Did some good work with the lads that were here. Was annoying, not annoying really, but like you want to work with all of them in a little break like that, and then you realise the volume of players that you have away, and wasn't too much we could do team wise. Managed to get some good work. Had a sort of a game that we managed to arrange as well that some of the players played a big part in to help us sort of structure wise, understanding, trying to progress as far along as we can with it. And then I managed to get a couple of days, obviously after the Crystal Palace game, had a day off and a couple of days off at the weekend, which is unusual, but found myself still obviously working from home and making sure that all plans were in place for what was going to be a big game this weekend.
Klopp's confirmed today that Trent Alexander-Arnold won't play tomorrow. You've touched on how central he's been to this kind of new Liverpool, if you like. So how much of a lift does that give you, and how much does that change your plans?
Yeah, I think I would expect it to change their structure. Doesn't mean that it will. They could still try and do the same sort of thing with somebody else. So I think from my point of view, Trent not being available or us presuming that he may be struggling has made preparing slightly more complicated, because before you knew what they were going to be and you knew where everyone was going to be. Whereas now there's sort of they need to come up with a different way, or they use somebody else. But from my point of view, preparing the team for exactly what it's going to look like has become more difficult. But of course, if Trent's one of Liverpool's best players, so for them to be missing one of their best players, of course, gives us more chance in the game.
Are they title challengers again, do you think?
It's very early, I think 10 points from 4 games, and some difficult fixtures in there as well. Managing to win at Newcastle when you're down to 10 men is an incredible effort. I know how tough it is, as everyone does, to go away to Newcastle and get a result with 11. So to be 1-0 down and be as good as they were with 10 shows that they're in a real good place. I think I'd be very surprised if they're not right up the top this year. Of course, as with most people, Man City will be the favourites, I'm sure. But I think with what they've managed to add, obviously added a lot of really good players in the summer. So I would expect them to improve significantly on the points tally that they achieved last season.
How much confidence did it give you personally when you beat them as Bournemouth manager back in March? A real pressure game when Bournemouth were bottom of the table and a lot riding on it for you.
Yeah, it was a big weekend for us. I think we'd just suffered that last second goal at Arsenal the week before. So to bounce back and to beat Liverpool at home in a big game was a big result for us. The way the game went as well, and sort of how well we coped with most things. Of course, needed a little bit of luck in the missed penalty, but general I thought we fully deserved to win that game. And yeah, hopeful that we can do the same again. I think we'll face a stronger Liverpool, no doubt, today than what we faced last year at Bournemouth. I think they've obviously recruited well and signed some very good players, so I would expect it to be a tough game. But pleased with where the group are. I think obviously a couple of question marks, as I'm sure all managers do, over the lads that have travelled a long way and how well they'll be able to recover and go again, especially for an early Saturday. But yeah, looking forward to the game. I think being able to play at home in front of our home crowd against a massive team, one of the biggest teams in England, is always exciting.
The club you represented as a coach, of course, under 23s there. You'll see a few familiar faces, will you? Maybe on the subs bench.
Yeah, I would have thought so. I think I had it was only 6-7 months that I had there, but loved it. Expected to be there for a long time, and then obviously opportunities sort of came along and ended up not being there. But yeah, very grateful to the club for giving me my first coaching opportunity. Learned an awful lot while I was there. And yeah, I'm not sure how many familiar faces I'll see. I think it was during COVID when I was there, so there was a bit of a split between first team and 23s bubble. But it's always nice to go up against a club that you've played some sort of part in the past.
Just ask you about a few of the deadline day signings that you made and get your views on those. Before that, though, Tommy Doyle, he had a minor knee problem. He's fine, is he? Yeah,
fine. He played a part in the training ground game that we had and felt fine. Hasn't played a lot of football since the Euros, but we're trying to get him up to speed. He's fit enough to be in and around the matchday squad tomorrow, which is a positive.
Jean-Luc Bellegarde arrived, offers something different according to Matt Hobbs. What have you seen from him so far?
Yeah, he's been excellent training, very, very good. I think his approach, his work ethic, sort of how well he understands what you ask, and sort of no fuss about him. There's never any sort of, he never questions what is asked of him. He has a real good understanding of it, is willing to do it until you blow the whistle and tell him to stop, has a fantastic attitude, has quality, athleticism. So obviously a step up into the Premier League for him, but excited to see how well and how quickly he can adjust and what an impact he can have on it.
So finally, Santiago Bueno, what can he offer other than competition, obviously? Yeah,
he's obviously good footballer, good with the ball, has decent athleticism as well. I haven't seen a lot of him. I think he did a day with us before the Crystal Palace game, and then he's got a late call up into the Uruguay squad, so only arrived back today for training. But important that we had 4 senior centre halves firstly, and secondly important that we managed to have a good one that is real competition for the two that have the shirt at the moment.
Thanks very much.
Okay.
Gary, as you mentioned, you had a lot of players away on international break, but how important was it, more so for the new people? I'm thinking about like Enzo Gonzalez, because I can't imagine being 18 and being parked in South America at that age. How important has these couple of weeks been for someone like him?
Yeah, he's integrated well. Of course, he's managed to do a lot of days training with us. Got used to his surroundings and helped him settle in the area and stuff like that. So it's been a positive 2 weeks for him. Has a lot of talent. Still very young, and need to help him adapt his game to the Premier League. But sure, he can have an impact, definitely. I think he's shown already flashes in training that you would expect him to be able to have an impact on Premier League football matches.
Yeah, so one of the headers that he scored in training, you set up with a nice cross, actually. There's a lot of things. I mean, that's settling in on the training field. But like I said as well, a lot of things that fans and people don't understand and see and appreciate is that settling in off the field. How much work does the club have to do to help players settle in that way?
Oh, the club's fantastic at that. I think even with myself and my staff at the moment we've arrived, the support we've received from the behind the scenes staff has been incredible, and the players get that as well. So yeah, they'll have no shortage of support from the football club, helping them settle, helping them learn the language, anything they need really to make their life as easy as possible and transition into England and Premier League football, because it's not easy, at a young age when you come from a different country on your own, and football's different, language is different, food's different, weather's different. So yeah, I think it will. I'm sure you'll get up to speed very quickly.
One of the players coming back from international duty, Fabio Silva, got a couple, I think 3 goals in the 2 games within under 21s. I know obviously there's a difference in level between under 21s and Premier League, but that's going to do his confidence the world of good.
Yeah, of course. Number 9 scoring goals definitely helps with confidence. I think he's played quite a lot of minutes for us so far already. Maybe more than he has done before for the club. So pleased that he's managed to get some minutes while he's been away as well, and keep up his sort of fitness and his sharpness, and a few goals to help him with his sort of confidence. Not that he really needed any, but number 9s are like that. When they're scoring, they get an extra boost. So pleased that he's managed to go away and have a successful couple of weeks, and pleased to have him back fit as well. Of course, when they go away, you're always a slight concern that they won't come back fit and available, and all of them have.
Because the lack of goals is something that has been talked about a lot here before your time here. But in the last game, you got 2 goals away from home. Obviously, that unfortunately came away with nothing. But do you feel that you're building on that end of the field?
I feel like we've created a lot of chances. Obviously, I look at my job to understand exactly what's going on and how and why in our games. So, like data wise and numbers wise, creating a lot of opportunities, arriving in good areas. Still a lot that we need to improve to get it to where I think it should be. But there's been situations that we could have done better from. But keep creating the situations. I'm sure this weekend against a side that are going to be very strong, we can still create some opportunities to hurt them, I'm sure.
And just finally from me, you referenced earlier beating Liverpool last season. Are the lessons you can learn from that? Obviously, you've got a different set of players, but are there lessons you can learn from those experiences?
Yeah, I think I learn from every game that we take, but I think the way that we went about it that day, the way we created an atmosphere in front of our crowd, the way we managed to put Liverpool on the back foot at times, will all be things that we look to try and do this weekend. But as you say, I've got a different group. Liverpool are a very different group, and they're in extremely good form at the moment. Whereas during that time when we played them, they were maybe going through a slight transitional phase. So will be a bigger test for sure.
Camera off, please. Unfortunately, we've only got about 7 or 8 minutes top.